Hello there, and welcome to a tutorial on how to use the auction bars with Bloodhound from Shark Indicators. This will be very Bloodhound specific, so if you're not familiar with the auction bars, I'd recommend that you take a look at one of my previous webinar recordings or one of the videos explaining what the auction bars are. And for now, I think we'll just dive right into the tutorial here. We have the auction bars here on a 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ futures contract, together with Bloodhound up here. We have an empty template. So we'll just start with identifying the signals here. And to do so, you go in here to the indicator comparison. You define the auction bars as indicator A. And a little bit down the list here, you will be able to find candidate signals and confirmed signals. For verification on the charts here, we'll just use the confirmed reversal up for bullish, down for bearish. You also have the composite signals here, identified as 2. And other than that, you need to make sure that you have the same settings in the strategy as you do on the chart. I like to work with the spike or reversal type A, so I'll define that here. And other than that, I have the default settings here. All right, so you hit OK, and then you're going to compare this with a fixed value, namely the value of the data series, which is +1 for both short and long signals. And finally, you'll want to make a note of what you've actually done here. So it's auction bars data series 1 confirmed. And then you can new logic, grab the node that you just created, refresh, not for now, and there we have the confirmed signals. Another integral part of the auction bars are, of course, the auction ranges. That's the higher time frame here, the 60-minute auction range we have on here. And so if you enter short on this, you probably want to be alerted once you have reached the lower part of the range here. So we're going to look for price scenarios that are in place once we have reached the lower end of the range. So in that case, we're going to compare price with the indicator. Again, indicator comparison here. And so price can be the close, can also be the high or the low. And so for long here, we can define that as a low if the low of the bar has gone beyond the lower end of the range. You will want to buy to cover, and you will want to exit a long position if the high is touching the upper end of the range. And you can find the range here from the list here. So range high is a short, range low is a long. And the comparison here needs to be turned around. So the low below the lower end of the range, high above the upper end of the range will generate a short output. And so the high and low auction range. All right, let's see how this plays out here. Try again. So we see the low is moving below the range is actually this line here, and then the congestion zone is the entire band here, so the range, we move below it right here. And here we have a situation where the high is above the upper end of the range. Okay, and then now we can have a look at the zigzag filter, which is running in the background here. Let's go into the indicator and make it visible. So show zigzag, and then we'll show the labels as well as volume. It's okay. And here we have some additional information to work with. And in order to, let's just start with the lower lows and the higher lows, the lower highs and the lower lows. The higher highs we don't see here. Let's see if we have an example of that here. Yeah, so it's back here, so we'll scroll back a little bit later on to locate that again. For now, we'll just start here with a threshold solver in order to identify these swing type series. So you can go in here, grab the indicator threshold. The way that works is that it works in descending order. So we have a couple of numbers that we'll enter for this. Whoops. All right, then again, we will have to grab the appropriate data series here. And so we'll have swing low for the higher lows and swing type short for the lower highs. And the way this works is that for higher highs, it's +3. For double tops, it's +2. Those are a little bit less frequent, so we'll just skip on to the lower high, which is +1. Then we have 0, -1 for higher low, and -3 for lower low. So in this case, we will have, we're looking for the higher low for the long output. That will be -1. And for the short output, we're looking for a lower high, and that is +1. So let's name this swing type. It's lower high and higher low. Let's see if we got this correct here. Looks about right. We have a higher low here and lower high here. And so to create the same for a higher high and a lower low, you can just go in here and copy this. Let's rename it right off the bat so that we don't get confused here. Also, we need to turn these around because it's more of a trend confirmation type of thing. And so higher high and lower low. And add that new node here. So we have a bunch of lower lows in this case here. Scroll back and see if we find the higher high. It's plotting as well. I guess as a final step here, we can See if we can catch the double tops and the double bottoms as well here. So copy this. And we need to change this value here to saying that that is the trigger for this data series number value 2. And let's grab this again here. And like that, we have the different data series of the zigzag trend filter and the swing type definitions in here as well. If you're just using this for trend, we do have a data series for that as well. So we can just go in here and copy the one that we created for the signals. So we can do this is zigzag major trend. There's also a minor trend definition. The major trend is located here. And then it's actually negative for the downtrend. So you'll need to adjust that slightly here. And so we can test this here. A little bit easier to work with than the swing type definitions. The swing type definitions, of course, gives you more flexibility to customize according to what you're looking to do here. And I think that's pretty much it. You see here the volume information. So one thing that could be interesting to do here is to create a threshold solver for that information as well. So you can say that the swing volume has to be above K, and then we can null these other ones out. It needs to be greater than 50,000 contracts in order for you to want to consider it. So swing volume greater than 50K. I haven't played around with this type of scenario very much, but let's see if we can get it to plot here. And for some reason, it's not doing quite what I expected it to do here. Yeah, so I probably will have to get back to you on that, how exactly to define that, the swing volume. You see we have some outputs here, but I'm not sure why we're not seeing the racing stripes here. The idea was to define this swing low as higher than 50,000 contracts, and then use that as a threshold here. But it's not quite giving me. I think it's as simple as this. We actually need to define the swing volume data series, of course. Forgot that little step. And that way we do have the output here. We also have output on this one up here, which is also exceeding 50,000 contracts. So the racing stripes here is giving us the information that we're looking for when we're exceeding the 50,000 mark for the swing. All right, I hope this has opened your eyes a little bit as to what you can do with the auction bars in Bloodhound. If you have any questions to me, feel free to reach out at info@lizardtrader.com. Always happy to hear from you, and hope to hear from you soon. In the meantime, take care and bye-bye.